everyone, welcome back to Creatively Crafted Life. This is Melanie, and today's video is another in my Use Your Scrap series. And I want to talk about what I call card starts. And these are things that I do when I am wanting to be creative, but I'm not feeling overly creative. So sometimes I will do this if I've been in a rut and I feel like I need to get back into my craft room, but I don't know what I want to do. So I will work on getting these card starts started, and when and if the opportunity comes that I need to make a quick card, I've already got a good foundation started and I can quickly whip up a card without too much effort. So I do have a bin, and you can see it's quite full, and after today it's going to be even fuller. So maybe I will do a session on how to use these. But basically, I've got a few different things in here. So I have what I call, they're pre-stamped images. So sometimes I feel like coloring, but I don't want to drag out a stamp block and ink and find my stamps. So I've already got some stuff already pre-stamped. All I need to do is just grab some markers or crayons and start coloring. So that's in here. The other thing that I have in here are Project Life cards, or cards that I think will work to make cards, right? So for instance, this was from Persnickety Prints. They included this in my order. It's got thank you already written on here, and I'm thinking all I need to do is just add a focal point, some colored paper or something, and I've got a card finished. This one here is from Felicity Jane. Very simple, easy card to put together. And I've done a video before on using Project Life cards to create cards. So if you are interested in seeing more about that, you can look that video up. I also have some card starts already done. You can see I've got quite a few, and I'll just show you kind of what I mean. So for instance, this one is almost quite done. It just needs a sentiment on it. And this was just from some scrap papers left over from a SAT card kit. And I've even got some embellishments on here. I fussy cut out some images. So all it needs is a sentiment, and this one would be finished. This one here, again, this was just scrap papers I had left over. I added a piece of die cut on here, and it just needs a sentiment. This one has a sentiment, but it's looking a little plain, so it needs something. I don't know what, but when the time is right, I'm sure I will know. Same with this one. So you get the idea, right? Like, they're pretty much, some of these are more done than others. This is a Christmas card I made out of scraps from some scrapbook paper. These ones were made from an SCT sampler kit. Same with this one. Again, all I really need is a sentiment, and this one is finished. Same with this one. And this is just using scraps that I have left over. So rather than put them in my scrap bin, I just decided to make some cards with them. This one here, again, very simple. I could, if I needed to, send this out as is, but I think I'd like to put a little focal piece or embellishment on here. This one here, again, I had one of these doodle pops. I was never going to use it for scrapbooking, so I thought, why not make a card for it? I just need the right sentiment to finish that off. Here's just a piece of scrapbook paper and a band, nothing else on here. I do have a die with a frog, and I think he might look kind of cute on here. But anyways, and this is the same as one earlier. So that's kind of what I'm hoping to do today with some of my pattern paper scraps that I have left over, is make some more of these. And then maybe down the road, I'll show you how I convert these into finished products. Other things that I keep in here are things that I think will work on a card, like for instance this thank you tag. I think this may have come on a gift. Or if I have leftover bits from some sort of project that I think would be kind of cool on a card, that's what these would be. Or here I was experimenting using transfer gel, or I think it's called transfer gel or foil gel or whatever. Again, very usable, just wasn't ready to use it at the time. Here's another card start. It's just pattern paper scraps that I adhered to a card, and I either can do a die cut sentiment or add another butterfly, maybe bigger butterfly on here with a sentiment. So you get the idea. So these are all just little, you know, experiments that I did, and I can use bits and pieces of these to make some cards. Some of these items here I've also thrown into my junk journal, like this here. So that's another opportunity that may present itself. I've also thrown some tags where I've done some distress techniques, or attempted to, didn't quite finish. I also have these are Project Life cards. Well, they're not really Project Life cards, but they're from, I think it was from Creative Memories. Again, things that I got from Ellen Hudson in her order. So just cut off the Ellen, add it to maybe one of these other card starts, and I'm ready to go. Here are some colored images that I've completed. They just need to be added onto a card, similar to what I did with the with my Christmas cards that I showed you earlier. Anyway, so you get the idea. There's all sorts of stuff in here. Here's some geometric card starts that I had started. They're just with strips, zigzag strips. Okay. So I'm going to go through the remaining pattern scraps I have, find ones that I can pair up. I'll show you what I come up with, and then I will affix them to some card bases and show you my finished results. Okay, so I focused mostly on my 3x4 and smaller pieces of cardstock, and I just put together little pairs of patterns that I thought coordinated or went well together. And I don't have any idea how this is all going to turn out. Again, I'm just going to try and create some foundation cards so that when I have more time or I have an opportunity to finish them up, then I will pull these out and do them then. So let me go and start putting some things together, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have about 25 card starts started, and I will just show you what I put together. And like I said, these are going to go in the bin, and at some point in the future I will pull them out and maybe make a bunch of cards. Or what typically happens is I'll need a greeting card for some reason, and I'll just pull one out and use it for that. So anyways, let me show you just some of the basic designs that I came up with using the scraps that I had. Now, some of these are on actual card bases, and some I've left loose. So these could be affixed to a card base, or maybe I want to add like some twine or something to them at the time, so it gives me the flexibility when I have some that are not attached already. So a lot of them you'll see they're just very basic patterns, and that's what I want. I just want a foundation to now build off of. And some of them, of course, you could change the orientation. You're not necessarily tied to any one, except for, of course, the ones that I've already affixed to a card. Like this one I've designed so that it be a horizontal card. Now this one here is actually using some pattern paper that's Christmas themed. You can see there's some pine cones and stuff in here. So I might quickly convert these into Christmas cards. Here's another example, I guess, that I want to point out how I've got similar scraps, but I just designed two different layouts using them. And here's another one. And some of them I've added some detailing already, like the black outline. Others I've left without any, like this one doesn't have any, but I think it needs it. But I may change my mind by the time I get around to using them. Here's another one, similar patterns, just a completely different look. Some of these are not even necessarily like the full card front. Like for instance, this one, you know, if I were to fix it here, it's not very even all the way around. Of course, if that doesn't matter to you, then you can use it as is. Or what I like to do when they're not symmetrical is actually deliberately play off of that and move it to one side. This would be a great card to then add a piece of ribbon, a black ribbon or something, and have the bow over here. Again, who knows what orientation it's ultimately going to be when I'm all finished. This one I actually put up on foam dots just to give it a little bit of dimension. And I really, really love this pattern paper, so I probably would just add a sentiment to this one and call it done. But you never know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So that's going to be it for today's video. I still have a ton of scraps left and I need to come up with a few more ideas. If you haven't already scribed and are interested in finding out what I'm going to come up with, please do so. Don't forget to check the notification bell. That will let you know when I have posted more videos, and who knows what I'm going to come up with. Until next time, happy crafting.